Well, and you served in the RAF, Bill.
Yeah, well, that was necessary. Yeah,
Right.
that's and when I was old enough, I was old enough to be called up, whereas the rest
Right.
of them were a bit younger than me, and they didn't have to suffer. Ian Stewart did, the piano player, but
Right.
yeah, I was in Germany, but it was very fortunate because while I was in Germany, we were right next to the American zone, British zone, American zone, French zone at the bottom, and we heard the beginnings of rock and roll on AFN, American Forces Network radio. And that's where I heard in 1955, I heard the beginnings of rock and roll, Elvis, Fats Domino, and so on and so on. And I went down to the American PSI shop and I bought the first little records, the 45s, the first ones. And I didn't know how to play them. I used an old wind up and tore them to bits.
You still have any of them?
Didn't have the record players to play them, but I did want them because I used to hear them on the jukebox and down the road from the at the camp where we used to have drinks and things.
Interesting that Bill, we've had some of your friends on the show. We've had John Altman, we've had Leo Lyons of 10 Years After. We've had Mo Foster, who's played with everyone.
Yeah.
And it's always a fascinating thing to David. What was it about American blues, this black music that was born of slavery, that spoke to your generation? What was it about that music that enchanted you?
It was just different. It was not difficult, or it didn't seem to be difficult until you started to work on it, and then you found it wasn't as difficult as it sounded. It wasn't as easy as it sounded. And it was like the black man's pop music, wasn't it, really, at the time? And we just heard it as being very different and very interesting. And it wasn't being played on the radio or TV in England. You couldn't buy the records. There was just a few people that had imported records. And because I used to write away for Chuck Berry records in 1957, 58, when I was in the military in Germany.
Okay.
So because you couldn't buy them in the shops, and get Duane Eddy, his first ones, Rebel Rouser and all those kind of stuff. It was really exciting. And that's where I first picked up a guitar in Germany and then moved on. When I came out, formed a little band. And at the same time, Mick and Keith were forming a band in Dartford. Brian was doing stuff in Cheltenham and so on and so on.